Hey everyone, it's Tzayla, and welcome back to Off Key and On Pitch, your backstage pass to the unfiltered world of music. Today I'm joined by Daniel McCurdy, an artist, producer, and songwriter based in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee. He spent the last 3 years writing and producing for other artists and currently works out of Nashville Sound Studios in Berry Hill. But lately, Daniel's been stepping out from behind the board and into the spotlight, shifting his focus toward his own country singer-songwriter project. We talk about his transition from producer to artist, how faith and community shape his creative path, and what it really means to grow. Not as a musician, but also as a human. So settle in. You're going to want to hear this one. Hey, Daniel, welcome to the show today.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I'm glad to have you on. So I always love to start these things off by asking my guests to share their stories, like why they chose music in the first place, how they got here, stuff like that.
Dude, yeah. Um, Man, so I guess it goes like way back. I was always just kind of making music while growing up. I would be writing stuff down and playing the piano and not practicing what I was supposed to be. Um, but yeah, I guess I've loved it from like a early age. I still remember like the first time hearing music and knowing that was it. I had to do it. Um, and then from there just kind of kept on loving. I feel like music is very much like you just take it one step at a time, and there aren't so many like big incremental things. It's kind of just you're going up and up at a steady pace, and you just keep at it, I guess.
Mm. Oh, are you done?
Oh yeah, well, where should I go? I'm trying to think of where I should go in that. um because yeah, I guess the like then after that I started writing songs like and getting really into writing songs in eighth grade, I guess. um that's when I remember I wanted to be a rapper in eighth grade. So I would read the dictionary for like a solid like hour a day, and then I would write for another hour, and then I started adding guitar to that, and that was really kind of where I fell in love with like the music side of it as well as the lyric side. um, and then started playing guitar all the time, was in a bunch of bands um, up through high school. And then it was really kind of in the after high school era that I figured out you could actually kind of turn it into a career. And then yeah, went from there and just started trying to do it and learn it a little more, and learn it as a business as well as an art. And then went a little too far that way, I feel like. And now I'm getting back in touch with kind of the art side of it, which is nice.
Mm. So I know you live in Nashville now. Like, did you move like after high school when you found out the whole business side? Is that when you moved to Nashville?
Yeah. So I, for some reason, had it in my mind. Nashville just seemed like the right place to be. Um, and I had thought about it a little bit in high school. And then after high school, I did a little bit of real estate because I was like, I'm gonna
Really?
learn how to. I wanted to I wanted to figure out. I needed a job, and I was like, I gotta figure out how to make money, and live. Because I didn't realize that music could be a career.
Mhm.
And then through real estate, they kind of teach you how to run yourself as a small business and all of that jazz. And I
Yeah.
had a friend who mixed one of my songs that I met online somewhere through a mutual friend, and I think he was 20, about the age I am now, like 23, and he was doing it as his job, and I was like, wait, you can do this. So then all of a sudden you would be in these coaching things for real estate, and they'd like kind of teach you how to figure out your mindset and all of that stuff. And then I was like, wait, I need to apply this to music, and then just move to Nashville. And that seemed to me like the next step. I was like, I'm not going to stay in Virginia and do music, even though I could. I have some friends who've done that for a while, and they're killing it. But I was like, I just want to move to Nashville. So I did it, and I didn't know anybody, and just came down here and sent it, which to me, just I guess the way that my brain is, doesn't seem like that crazy. I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. But a lot of people are like, wait, you didn't know anybody and you moved down here? And I'm like, I got it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I just like to do things, I guess.
Mhm. Oh, I totally agree with that. I thought about going to Nashville. I don't know if I told you that. Of like last year, I was thinking about going to Nashville. I didn't. I might one day, but right now I'm still here. And one of the major reasons was because you're right, Nashville, you're just surrounded by music all the time. And it's just
Yeah.
a different feeling. I went up to Berklee College of Music last summer, and I was surrounded by music the whole time. And I never been surrounded by music throughout my life.
Yeah.
I've never known many music people. It's always just been me. But when you're surrounded by other people who have the same love for music, the same drive, they'll push you farther, they'll inspire you, you'll help each other. It's just, I don't know, it's just a different feeling. And
Absolutely. I think one of the really cool things that I've loved about it is that you underestimate what's possible.
oh yeah.
When you're not surrounded, or at least for me, I underestimate what's possible. And I remember one of my friends down here was able to like basically have ear training to like hear songs and be able to figure them out by ear. And he was like, you know, you can tell when it's going to like a 1 chord to a 5 chord and all that. And he was like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like I use that every session. Like, and I thought the best of the best of the best were like, those were the only people who were doing that. And I was like, oh shoot, I need to learn this too. So if I were in Virginia, I would have been like, oh yeah, like I'll learn that like sometime down the road. But then seeing that somebody who I guess was just a couple years ahead of me was able to do that, I was like, oh well, I should probably learn how to do that. So then the expectation of what you can actually do, a lot of times we limit ourselves, you know? And it's nice to be surrounded by people that are like killing it, because you're like, well, I guess I got to do this too now.
Yeah. Who is it? I was talking to someone about mentors, and they were like, they asked me who some of my mentors are or my role models or certain things. And I was listing off a bunch of names, and they're like, stop. And I said, why? And they said, those are all good and everything, you know, to where you want to aspire to be. But you can't look at them because they've accomplished so much. And at this such a high level, you can't emulate their steps as easily because they've gone so far. You want to find someone who's either 1 level or 2 or 3 levels above you, so you can see exactly what steps they're doing and mimic them more closely. It's more of a tangible thing rather than like, oh, I want to go to the moon, so I'm gonna, you know, that you want to shoot a little. Hang on, I lost English in seconds. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you're gonna go to the moon, you can't just jump and get there. You got to build a rocket.
Yeah, you got to
know?
build a rocket. You got to look at the scientists who getting you there first. That thanks for finishing that. I was like on a roll, and then immediately I wasn't anymore.
Oh, you good, man? Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's really cool to, yeah, just be surrounded by it, and it's inspiring and it's fun. Like it's so fun. Like I'll have jam nights in my basement here sometimes, and I'll just like invite my friend. Yeah. And I'll just invite my friends over. And, like, of course, my friends are just, like, the craziest people ever. And I'm like, why am I even playing? And I'll just, like, drop the guitar and I'll sing or start, like, freestyling or something. And then do a solo here or there. Shred it up a little bit. Whereas, like, back in Virginia, I think I was probably one of the better guitarists, in air quotes, around, and like I was the guitar guy. And then I moved here and I'm like, wow. And it makes you kind of lean into like the stuff that you're really, really, I guess that you're naturally good at. Because I've always been a little bit more of a natural like lyric songwriter, like song guy versus like a player. Some people, their brains are just made for it, you know, just playing, and they can keep all these changes in their mind and are able to just switch. And I'm like, that's so cool. I start forgetting stuff usually. Even though I can shred a little bit here and there.
Yeah, it's the whole you don't want to be the smartest person in the room thing. Because then...
Oh, for sure.
Accountability.
Yeah. I feel like it's really fun, too, to be in a place where everybody's leaned into what they're naturally good at. You know? Because I feel like, you know, some people are really good athletes and they're good at their sport for a reason, right? Like, I'll know some people who are runners, right? And their legs are really, really long, and they're really like they don't have as much like weight on them. Like they're very like they're made for running. And then same thing with swimmers who have really long arms, right? When people are leaned into the thing that they're naturally good at, it's so cool to be around that. And then it's like, yeah, you're going to be the best in the room at something, and the other person is going to be the best in the room at the other thing. And then when all of you guys get together, it's the most fun thing in the world because everybody's just leaned into the thing that they love and they're good at, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, I think that goes for like everything, even outside of music. Like when you meet someone who knows who the heck they are and they're fully confident in that, like those people are the best people in
Yeah,
my.
yeah. And it's contagious and it's fun to be around. And yeah, I'm so with you.
So you currently work at a studio, is that right? Or did you quit? I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah. No, so I'm like I'm doing stuff at it's called Nashville Sound Studios in Berry Hill. And I basically run a room in there, so I'm kind of in the front room and I'm doing a lot of freelance like audio production work basically. And I do that, and I work a little bit of coffee stuff on the side. My friend has a coffee cart that he runs, so like when I'm not booked at the studio, I'll do some coffee stuff, and then all of that basically I'm using to fund my artist project and get that kind of off the ground going. So I just released one song for that, and then I've got another one coming next month, and then a 5-song EP, and now I'm getting all the sessions booked to record my whole album, which is going to be like 15 songs, and it's coming either this winter or summer next year.
Exciting. That is so exciting.
I'm so pumped, man. I'm so pumped. I love all these songs so much.
That's a
Um,
problem. Like when you love a song too much, I always because whenever I love a song too much, I personally will spend way too long on it because I just want to do it justice, you know?
mm, mm. I get that. Yeah, I get that. I think for me, because I would. The funny thing, I've spent a lot more time on songs that I didn't love, and I think it's because like I'm like trying to make it really, really good versus like letting the song speak for itself already. And kind of this is kind of off track, but I tell artists that I'm working with when they're getting like way too in their head about a song, I'm like, put the song on a SoundCloud playlist with like a ton of other songs and get your brain in like listening to music mode. Because when you're so like dialed in to listen to the song and hearing all the tiny little things and they're like maybe there's one click or one pop or like one syllable sounds weird, you kind of like lose the brain that you put on when you're actually listening to music, and it's hard to be objective about your song because you're like, does my voice sound weird, does this, does that? So when you get your brain into the mode of like, oh, I'm just listening to music, and then you hear the song, then you're like, oh, half of that stuff that I was thinking doesn't really matter. Like I don't need to adjust the snare by 0.5 dB.
Yeah.
It's probably fine, you know?
Yeah, totally. That's actually, oh, this is so funny. So, for those of you listening, I'll send music to Daniel sometimes, and this is why. When I send you a song, it's because I'm so worked up on it, and I'm like, I've been listening to it too much. Okay, I've been spending all day in the studio working on it. I'm gonna send it to someone else, let them hear it, and then once I send it to you, I don't work for the next day and a half. I leave, I say, hey, let's go out, let's go do something with friends or something, or I'll just, chill or do something else. I don't go back to the studio to clear my head, and because most of the time you say it yourself, it's just you. No one else heard that problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll get so zoomed in, and in reality, it's like we need to focus so much on the song, especially as artists. Where I feel like if you get too in the weeds on the production and the mixing of everything, you kind of lose like some of what makes the song like good, you know? Because you'll go listen to things that are out, and sometimes the quality is like weird, or like maybe there was like a note that was kind of like off pitch or whatever, but you don't really get that because it all is part of the vibe of the song. And I think as self-producing artists, we have to make sure that we're not too in the weeds, but in the weeds just enough where it all sounds good and it sounds professional, but we're not too focused on it sounding like way professional. If that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Yeah. Nashville, though. What's Nashville like for an artist? What do you
Yeah. Well, you're surrounded by it. And I think we talked about that. This being surrounded is really great. And I love it because everyone in Nashville is so supportive and it's such a good community. Like there's such a we're all in this together vibe to it versus a cutthroat like you're my competition. I don't feel that at all. And maybe that's just the way I am, but I don't feel that from anybody else. And yeah, I really enjoy it. So Nashville is such a supportive community. There's always somebody who can do the job that you need. There's always somebody who needs the job that you can do. And it's still such a small town where like I'll be in coffee shops and stuff and just hanging out, and you bump into people you know and friends, and that is so wonderful. So yeah, I would highly recommend visiting Nashville or coming to Nashville. It's beautiful, man.
What are like some of the music spots that you like to hang out at?
Ooh, one of my favorite music spots, and this is what I tell people if they're coming to Nashville, I'm like, skip Broadway, skip everything else, go to, it's called Pitch Meeting. It's on Tuesday nights. And it's the most Nashville thing that could ever happen, genuinely, because I don't think anybody else could do it. I don't think anybody else outside of like Nashville could do it. It's a songwriter open mic night, and all these songwriters just show up, and there's a live band that plays your song perfectly with you, having never heard the song before.
Oh, that is cool.
So you can give them charts, and if you don't have charts, they'll just be like, play, we'll figure it out. And they do. And some of the best, oh my gosh, they're so good. Like the keys player, I think is like on tour with Post Malone now.
Wow.
And then, yeah, everybody else is just unreal. They're so good. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite live music spots. They change around. They were at the Analog, which is like a place in a hotel for a while. They were at this little bar called Sonny's for a while. I love Sonny's. And I missed when it was at Sonny's. It was so much fun at Sonny's. And it still is so much fun, but that place is nostalgic for me.
That's awesome. I go to open mic night too, and the band there only does covers, but without practicing, they'll just go, "Hey, you want to play this song?" They go, "Yeah," and I'll just start playing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's so fun. That's why practicing is so important. Not because practicing, not because, I don't know, you have to get this good at your instrument for some random reason, but because it's just so much fun to like be able to have something in your back pocket and then drop this crazy riff, and then somebody's like, "What?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Agreed. That is so much fun. So you mentioned you got projects coming up. Like what the project's about? Like you had a 15-song album. Is that going to be a specific story, like one of those progressive albums? It's just like a compilation album. Like talk about that.
Yeah. So I've been making like pop music for like a minute. Kind of just like singer-songwriter-y pop music. And then this year I took a little break after, like in the winter, from putting out music, and was like, hold on, let's take a second. And I started writing country songs, like country singer-songwriter-y vibes. And it's going to be very much in that vein. And most of these songs, I'll pull up my notes. I think I have there's 12 right now on the record, and then there's 5 that are going to be on this upcoming EP. So I got an EP coming this summer, and then probably fall, winter time is going to be the whole album. And I think I wrote like all of them since like in this new year.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I just the freedom that I feel, where I can like kind of actually express what I'm feeling and actually care about the things that I'm feeling, instead of just trying to write a good song, but actually care about the things I'm saying. Yeah. It's really, people will talk about songs being like exactly the way they feel or exactly what they think. And it's so true for this project for me, that if somebody wants to like get to know me, I'll be like, hey, just listen to this album. Like, this is me. I got you. We can hang out, but this is literally like probably everything you need to know about me is like right here. And that makes me happy that I figured out a voice and a genre and a way to express me. And I'm okay with that, with sharing that now, you know?
I'm really happy for you. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I was already, but now I'm like even more so.
It's going to be so fun, man. It's going to be so fun. Hopefully we'll play some shows coming up this fall and winter. And Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting. How do you go about finding shows like that? This is totally random. How do you go, like, just go ask people?
That's something that I'm about to figure out. So the first show is probably going to be at this venue called Side Door. And it's like a photography studio and sometimes a music venue. And the people that run the coffee cart that I work at own it.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, can I just use Side Door for a show? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll run sound for you. And I was like, let's go. And the great thing is it's like only a 40 cap venue. So we'll probably sell out the place in like 2 days or something like that. So then my first like full like big Nashville show is just going to be like sold out, which is really fun. Playing like a smaller room than I should, because I probably could sell more tickets, but it'll just be packed in there, which is makes for a show to be like more fun. I think just
the energy, you know.
Yeah, the energy. Even if it's less people when they're packed in a room, it's so fun. And then from there, my goal, what I'd love to do, and I'm leaving it kind of up in the air because I have no idea what's going to happen in the next couple months. I'm very much trying to kind of go with the flow, go with the wind this time around. But I'd love to play some house shows. I'd love to go to like random college houses and then just set up in a living room and play for like 30 people. That sounds really fun to me. I would love doing that. And it would be a cheap way to start touring. And it would be a kind of fun, intimate, like cool way. It'd also be good for like content probably too, I think. Just getting some, everybody loves like a house show vibe. I know I do.
Yeah, know some frat people. Just go, hey, can I play here?
Yeah. I wonder, I don't know if my songs would work like in a frat because they were looking for like some hype stuff. Which my songs are fun, but they're a little more like chill, I guess, this time around.
It would have to be a specific type of frat party.
It would. It would probably be, yeah, it would probably be just some random, like, somebody's house where they're like, probably a lot of people who are like in church and stuff have been rocking with the music. So probably some like church house or whatever. But hey, I'll play wherever they want me, man. That'd be so fun. If it's a frat, I'm in. If it's a sorority, if it's a church house, if it's my cousin's house, I'll go anywhere.
This is a little random. My my laptop's plugged in, and it just keeps telling me that it's running low. So we might have to wrap up soon. But before,
yeah, I'll do.
I checked, it's plugged in, but I don't want it to cut out randomly. But I always like to end my podcast. You're frozen. All right, hang on.
Oh, can you still hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, but your face is frozen. I'll just keep. Oh, you're still
okay,
frozen.
Gotcha.
Oh, but I always like to wrap by asking. Oh, there's two questions I always wrap up asking. Like, if you have any advice for anyone listening to this podcast, what would that be?
I think the biggest thing I've been learning right now, and we'll see how it plays out. I used to be so like way too goal oriented, where I'd be like, here's my goals, here's my stuff that I want for this year. I'm gonna go get that. And when you do that, especially in an industry that's as crazy as music, you cut yourself off to some good opportunities that are gonna come in your life because you won't bend your story for anything else. And this year I'm learning to kind of go with the opportunities that are showing themselves to me instead of being like, this is exactly what I want. I'm going to go get that. I want to be very open. Like I got back in touch with God recently and Jesus and all that. And he's got a verse that says, he's the potter, we are the clay. And I think I would tell somebody to be good clay. So good clay is going to be open to different things than you'd expect and is going to be like ready and prepared for them, right? So there's different things. Like I'm practicing all my songs, right? So that I'm ready for whatever opportunity comes up. If it's the show at Side Door, great. If it's some different show, if somebody calls me on an opening slot, I'm going to bend my story to whatever opportunities show up, but I'm going to make sure I'm ready for those opportunities. That's what I say the advice is. Be good clay.
I really like that. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, I was asking. So you at the beginning you shared your, and I'm just curious what your dream is, what you're heading towards, what you're walking towards. Not necessarily not like your big goal, like you said, and your goal is for this year to be stagnant, but like, what is your dream?
My dream is to my dream is to live a life full of adventure, creativity, and impact, and a lot of love, man. Um, and I think that the way to get there is by making some good songs and making some music. But however I'm able to get there is what I want to do.
I love that, and I literally have the exact same answer. That's amazing. That's a good answer.
That's
Um,
awesome, man.
this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, we need to catch up more often, and keep me updated with the if you play any shows. Maybe I'll make my way up to Nashville one of these days.
Sounds good. I will. It's good to see you.
You too. Have a great day.
Bye.
Wow, what an impactful episode. Two things really stood out to me in this conversation with Daniel McCurdy. The first is this: surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and support you. Daniel reminded me how important it is and how powerful it is to be in community with people who love music. Not just casually, but deeply, passionately, obsessively even. People who stay up late tweaking lyrics, who get goosebumps when a harmony just hits right, who don't just tolerate your dreams, but fuel them. Being surrounded by that kind of energy, people who sharpen you, stretch you, and sing alongside you, that's special. That's where growth happens. So if you're listening to this and you feel alone in your creative journey, I want to challenge you. Go find your people. Start showing up where the music lives. Join that writer's round. DM that producer. Sit in the back of the studio just to listen. Hang around after that show and talk to people. Talk to the band. The right people will see you. But first, you've got to show up. And the second takeaway, and this actually is my personal favorite, is the idea of being good clay. Daniel mentioned the verse Isaiah 64:8, which says, "But now, O Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay, and you are the potter. We are all the work of your hand." Being good clay isn't just about being moldable. It's about surrender. It's about letting God do what he does best, creating something beautiful with a shape you might not have chosen. And that's hard, right? Because we've got our own plans. We've got our own timelines, our own 5-year dreams taped to our bedroom walls. But good clay doesn't argue with the potter. It doesn't demand to be a vase when it was meant to be a bowl. It lets go. It stays soft. It yields. It listens for direction and trusts the hands doing the shaping. Sometimes that shaping looks like closed doors. Sometimes it's a no that protects you from the wrong yes. Sometimes it's a rewrite of your story that you never would have picked, but ends up holding the very thing your heart was really longing for. Being good clay means staying open to new opportunities, to divine redirection, to a producer's critique or a mentor's challenge. It means not bracing against the friction, but letting it refine you. So something doesn't go your way, don't panic. Don't push on doors that clearly are closed. Look for the open ones, the ones you didn't notice before because you were too busy trying to force the old one open. And when you get feedback, take it. Let it teach you. Let it smooth your rough edges. Growth only happens in soft soil, not the hardened ground. So if you take anything from the episode, let it be this: find your people and stay soft. Let iron sharpen you. Let closed doors protect you. Let God shape you, even if it means becoming something entirely different from what you planned, because his hands know what they're doing. If you want to follow Daniel and hear more about his journey, you can check him out on Instagram at Daniel McCurdy. And as always, you can also find my music, my blog, and more podcast episodes at Tzayla.com. If you enjoy this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your fellow music nerds. If we mentioned something today that really touched your heart, or if there's something we mentioned you want me to do a deeper dive on, or if you have any questions or favorite moments, feel free to DM me at Tzayla.official. I would love to hear from you. And if you take one more thing away from this episode, let it be this: Don't hold your dreams so tight that you strangle it. Keep your hands open, because that's where miracles happen. So keep dreaming big. And remember, I'm Tzayla, and adventure sounds like this.